Bob, can you tell me what it was like when you joined East Thames 6 years ago as chair?
Well, I remember the first thing I did when I became chair. We were having our 25th anniversary celebration in a venue in Canary Wharf, quite a lively event, as well as the sort of formality of people like me making speeches. We had a band from one of our foyers, our young people, really throbbing music and dancing, and everybody was joyous on the occasion. But what I said in my speech was that East Thames needed to be an organisation that had its head in the clouds and its feet on the ground. What did I mean by that? Well, by head in the clouds, that sense of having vision, taking in the big picture, being above day-to-day troubles, seeing beyond. And East Thames has always been that. It's always had a sense of its purpose, its values, its contribution, its ambition. The feet on the ground, though, is that you can only realise that if you are an effective, viable organisation whose finances are in good order and whose management arrangements are secure. And that's been an area where there was some scope for improvement. I think since then we have become far more understanding of our finances, our vulnerabilities, our strengths. In terms of being able to manage ourselves, we've now got quite an impressive performance management system. We know month by month how we're doing, collecting the rents, letting the property, doing the repairs, providing housing to people, so that if something is going slightly astray, we know very quickly and the executive team can give it attention. So 6 years ago when I arrived, that vision continues. There's still headroom for improvement in the way we manage ourselves. There always is, no organisation is perfect, but we've seen strides of improvement in the coherence and the ability of the organisation to fulfil its mission.
What about the impact for some of our residents and customers, Bob? What do you think some of the differences they might have noticed in the last few years?
Yeah. Well, when I arrived here, I do other things. I, at the time, was the deputy chairman of the National Consumer Council, which was pressuring government to give consumers generally, but in the case of social housing, tenants more place and role. So I had to live that out, and very deliberately would go out and visit estates, meet the residents, go to some of our training programs that East Potential runs, visit some of our supported housing facilities, just to talk to people. More important, to listen to people and encourage them to say how they felt about things. I think if you talk to our residents, most of them, or many of them, are facing quite difficult lives. It's not just their housing, it's family life, it's jobs, it's problems in the community, etc. But they do know and they do engage us as one organisation that's a constant feature. We've been here 30 years, we're going to be here another 30 more years. We're something that is dependable. We're not perfect, and they'll tell us when we're not perfect, but we are something that they can have confidence. We'll listen as an organisation and as individual members of staff, and we'll respond.
Bob, you're handing over the reins of chair at a really challenging time. There's obviously a new government, there's going to be funding cuts. What do you think the main challenges and opportunities are for East Thames in the future?
I think it is hard times. It's going to be hard times for the people we serve, and it's going to be hard times for us. So actually a key challenge is not to be overwhelmed by the difficulties that are definitely coming. I think East London remains one of the areas of strategic possibility. We've got the Olympics, and we have our role in the Olympics with the Athletes' Village. We have Thames Gateway. We have got local authorities that, like us, remain ambitious for their communities. So there will be opportunities, maybe not as many, and we need to be nimble and agile and able to assess possibilities and seize them where we see the scope for us making the sort of unique contribution that East Thames can do.